Hello, I'm Bob from Bob's Workshop. A few weeks ago, I took the hard drive out of my 2009 MacBook Pro and I put it into a 2012 Mac Mini. And that's when I went back and looked at all the old footage that I had from the early days of Bob's Workshop. And it brought back some good memories for me. So in this video, I want to share with you some footage of some Matchbox trucks that I repainted a long time ago. Well, 5 or 6 years ago. That's a long time on YouTube. So here are some Matchbox K-16s that I repainted from 5 or 6 years ago.
This is the Matchbox Super Kings K-16, and it first appeared in the 1973 catalog. This particular model with graphics for EXXON oil is perhaps the second most common variation, after the Texaco version in red. The stickers have yellowed, and some are missing altogether. I also have one of these still in the box and in much better condition, so I don't feel too bad at all about customizing this one. As one of my earlier Matchbox projects, I was still not confident enough to take this apart and completely repaint it, but a few touch-ups were all it needed before it became a fresh blank canvas. I bought my first Mac computer in 1992, and I've been using them ever since. The program I'm using here to create the new decals is called Pages, and it's included for free on any Apple computer. I found an image of the Epcot monorail and then began tracing it with basic shapes. The fill and the line thickness are all pretty adjustable, and the copy and paste feature is especially nice. No one has ever specifically asked me how I make my custom decals, but here's the process anyway. Some people in the comments have asked about the program I use, and it's Pages, but I think I like doing this part and the video editing afterwards at least as much as the painting. The painting and the customization of the cars, trains, or buildings that I normally show here. One viewer, a long time ago now in the comment section, told me to make the videos that I like and not to worry about chasing subscribers or watch time hours. I think that's good advice. If I look back at the money I've made in the last 5 years and the nearly 400 videos that I've put out, I think my hourly wage works out to be less than 25 cents per hour. I'd be better off making Nikes in Cambodia. So I'm going to listen to that earlier commenter and make the videos that I like. When I'm searching for images, I always make sure to find larger files which have, better quality. And if it has a transparent background, that's even better. The printer that I use is an HP 2600 that's almost 8 years old, and it still does a pretty good job. The inkjet decals need a clear coat before they can be cut and applied. In fact, I made these decals about 6 years ago, and I did nearly the exact same process last week when I customized a couple of Lionel boxcars. This model has aged pretty well over the years, and I'd say that the decals are holding up nearly as well as the original Matchbox stickers. For the next project, I was feeling a little more confident. It helped that the Matchbox K-16 here was pretty banged up, so I was less hesitant about taking it apart. Sometimes I completely remove the old paint, but here I just blended in the nicks and scratches with a little wet sanding. I used spray cans of Rust-Oleum for the repaint, and with a little careful masking, I think the frame looks like new again. The cab is now green and reattached with very small screws. That's a process which I'll show in greater detail when we get to the trailer. I don't remember the exact reason, but I decided to remove all of the paint from the trailer. And now you can see how I drill out the posts before tapping them to accept the thread pattern of the new screws. Before being absorbed by Mattel, Matchbox was a very British toy maker, and as such, they had a fairly strong connection to both the racing world in general and to BP in particular. My inspiration for this tanker truck came from the earlier racing transporter, also made by Matchbox. I always liked how two cars could fit in back, while there were seats up front for as many as 6 people. As a kid, this is how I dreamed of traveling to Florida on family vacations. Since this is all very proper and English, of course the racing transporter is painted in BRG. That's British Racing Green, and I wanted my new decals to also share that color scheme. I had a rough idea of what I wanted, but I was having trouble with the decals design. I know I wanted the BP logo and the checkered flag, and for a while I toyed with the idea of including the names of several famous European racetracks, just like the racing transporter. But no matter what I tried, it ended up looking too busy. So I finally went with a much simpler layout. I used white inkjet decal paper, just like before, and sealed the decals with a glossy clear coat, whose finish would allow it to blend in with the new white paint behind it. I think this is one of my favorite custom Matchbox Super Kings that I've ever made. It's definitely in my top 3. It's the only K-16 I own with yellow hoses, which I think are the perfect tie-in with the BP logo. Oh yeah, where do honeybees like to urinate? You don't know? It's at the BP station, of course. Those last 2 K-16s are fairly typical of my work with Matchbox cars and trucks. Sometimes it's as easy as making new decals, while other models require complete disassembly, repairs to existing parts, or even the fabrication of missing parts. Some models are too far gone, but those can become donors to future restorations. But the bottom line is that the Matchbox Super Kings K-16, in one form or another, has probably been my favorite die-cast vehicle since I was a kid in 1973. This cruise line tanker, and the following 4 others, were all taken apart, stripped down, and repainted in color schemes that I wish Matchbox had produced. They didn't, but I'm pretty happy with these little guys. Sometimes I like to pretend that I'm working at Matchbox or Lionel in their art departments, and it's my job to come up with prototype models that might be considered for mass production. It's a little delusional, I know, but it keeps me going, and it makes me smile, even when I'm the only one in the room. Fixing up old Matchbox toys is what I was doing when I started this channel. I tried restoring furniture, some home improvement stuff, and even a few episodes about working on old cars. But somehow, it became a channel that's mostly about Lionel trains. And that's okay, but every now and then, I'm going to explore other topics as well. This last one for Disney World was the very first K-16 that I ever customized. It's still in its original paint that didn't even need touch-ups, but I did make the new decals. If you enjoyed this video, please like and subscribe. Thank you for watching, and until next time, this has been Bob's Workshop. Take care.